Hi, everyone. Welcome to this 30-day program for your spiritual awakening and personal power journey. I'm Mel Gabby, and I look forward to hearing more from you. But what are we covering today? We're going to look at not just the thoughts, but how to rewrite them and start taking control of your mind and even your life. So stay tuned, because if you struggle to do that, if you struggle with an inner dialogue, critical thoughts, this stuff going around your head all the time, I'm going to spend more time on that, because this is one of the most critical things that I've had to master over the years. Out of everything I've learned, the way that my brain works and the way that I've managed stress and the way that I would worry about a lot of things has in some cases been detrimental to me, to my life, to my relationships and my work. So that's why I'm emphasizing a lot of time on this, because I know I'm not the only one, and I know what it's like to struggle with those things. So this is creating your own thoughts and the power to rewrite your mindset. So where's my cards? The affirmation is, and if you find any resistance when you're doing any of these affirmations, then just notice that and check into that, because your ego is starting to pick up that there are changes underway and you are starting to shift, and you're going to start to be able to make claims on your life that maybe you didn't even think were possible before, and even live a happier, healthier and more abundant life. So hopefully I can find the card that I need, and it's I choose my thoughts and empower, uplift and align with my true self. So the magician, when I find that card, is the Master Manifestor, showing you that all the tools you need to create your reality are already within. For a lot of people, they don't realize that. They wrap their head around that we all spend time for years going to church, listening to sermons, going to workshops, going to see psychics, having our tarot cards done, going to reading books, consuming information. And that's great to a degree. Like I've said in other episodes, that going and having fun and enjoying the experience is great, but there comes a time where we've got to say, okay, what tools have I already got at my disposal? So in terms of the tools, you won't already know necessarily what you've got in you, because that's when it helps to do a timeline audit of all the different things that you've experienced over time in your work, what skills you built up and what workshops and stuff have you gone to, and also how open-minded you already are. And the card invites you, the magician is about harnessing your mental energy intentionally, shaping your thoughts as powerful seeds for transformation. That's a really key statement. It invites you to harness your mental energy intentionally and shape your thoughts as powerful seeds for transformation. The magician asks, how will you use that creative power? So when we think of creativity, a lot of people say, I'm not creative, I can't draw. No, this is how we turn what we think into some kind of reality. So it's about reclaiming your mental power and intentionally creating your thoughts. For many, thoughts feel like automatic reactions or truths handed down from others, but in reality, you are actually a powerful creator of your own mind. You have the ability to choose what thoughts you give energy to, nurture or discard. It's not about forcing positivity or ignoring difficulties, but about cultivating awareness and attention. So if you're always worrying and have always got things on your mind and they're mostly negative, we need to seed that, throw in some fresh flowers while pulling out the weeds of those negative thoughts and past patterns that don't work for us anymore. So cultivate that awareness and intention through this work. And any workshops that you go to, use your journal, write them down and start noticing this stuff in yourself. So the magician reminds us in the tarot, you can see the magician actually holding a magic wand. And when you start seeing your thoughts as choices, you can shift from feeling like a victim of circumstances. So if you remember that video that I did on victim, persecutor, and rescuer, often we fall into feeling like a victim to an empowered creator of your experience. So for example, gratitude is one of the most powerful things that we can start to have and purposely do, is do gratitude statements. So even though you might find money is short and you're wondering if your job's going to end in 6 months' time, I've got to teach clients to say, no, you need to be thinking about today. What are you grateful for today? You have access to a car, so it's easy to get to work. You have got access to be able to pay your bills and your rent, even if people are sometimes struggling with that. You might be safe in your surroundings. You've got a quiet neighborhood, anything at all that you can connect with that says, I'm grateful for the fact that I've been able to create this. And you've got to be a powerful creator. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the clothes that you wear, the food on your table, because you thought about going to the shop. That was a thought. Then you turned it into reality and you bought the goods. If you want to feel calm, you thought about meditating, you sat and meditated, and you start to feel calm. So your thoughts created your reality. If you want to go to a gig in a year's time, you're going to go online, aren't you? Like for Glastonbury, and stay there with the determination and intention to get the tickets. Your thoughts and action create that reality. So we do that every day without even realizing. So when you start to see your thoughts as choices, you can shift, like I said, from feeling like a victim of circumstances to an empowered creator. This involves practice, 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 and patience. Practice, 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 and patience. Rewiring your brain through repetition, journaling, affirmations, and meditation. So like I said, I've had to really practice these things for various reasons, but when I've gone through difficult times, that's when somehow this old pattern that I have in my mind would come on strongly and take over. And it used to be general worrying, like when the kids were little, and I'd have these thoughts pervasive. And pervasive just means they're there all the time and they're hard to get rid of. And so some of these tools that I teach in the workshop one-to-one, or give you an idea about through this 30-day program, are massively empowering because they work, they do work. So whether or not you've got doubts or hopes, grow into your life's landscape. What seeds are you going to nurture? So think for a moment right now, think about your job. What's the first thought that comes up? And it might be, well, it could be anything. Now decide what to think. Think about the aspects of work that you're grateful for. And you might say, Mal, it's a horrible place to work for. Is there one person, the tea lady, the fact you've got a coffee machine that you can park your car and you don't pay for parking? Is there something that you can switch and reframe so that we start to get into the habit of doing this? So you also might begin by identifying those old limiting beliefs. It's not always easy to identify them. Usually I'm helping clients do that through conversation because I'll feed something back and say, hey, okay, that sounds like a limiting belief. Is that true? And then replacing them with empowering alternatives. So the biggest shift for me initially was like in other videos I've shared that I worked in hotel and catering for a number of years. By the time I had my second child, I did some voluntary work and people started saying, oh, you're really good at this. Have you ever thought about being a therapist? But because I stopped mostly going to school, when I say mostly, I did go a little bit from when I was about 14, I'd lost a lot of confidence in my ability and my capacity to go back into education. And so those inner thoughts might be, I can't do it, I can't study, I'm not going to be good at that, me, those kind of thoughts can go on. And then because I chose a 6-week course, it wasn't a huge commitment and it gave me a chance to try it out and see what happened. And my limiting beliefs were massively turned around very quickly on that course. And that motivated me to challenge my own thought. Oh, well, actually, yeah, I enjoy this and I'm learning. It's not learning in the way that I was used to being taught at school, which I found incredibly boring most of the time and uninspiring. And so own your power as a magician. Connect with that energy. Look at the card. Look at pictures online. If you go and put in Google Images, show me a picture of the magician as a tarot card, you'll see the illustrations on that and what that card is doing. So try as well a thought stopping technique. So when a negative thought arises, say stop mentally and then replace it with a positive or neutral thought. It's not always easy to do that straight away. Sometimes what you've got to do is say, notice first of all, what thoughts are going through your mind. So one of the first tricks I teach people when I'm doing a workshop might be, you get a pen and paper out and you draw a circle like that big or bigger. And you set the timer on your phone or clock. And every time you have a thought, you put a dot for the 60 seconds. So I'm very calm and meditative today. So, I might have 5 dots in there. But when I first did this, I think I had about 60. So that's 60 seconds, 1 minute. The 60 minutes. So that's 1 times 60 in an hour. Okay. And there are 24 hours in a day, but say we're awake for 10 hours. Let's put 10. 10 times 60, 600. So you've now got 600 thoughts going through your head throughout the day. It's much more than that, most people. If you then are noticing your thoughts and you practice mindfulness and you start to notice, am I just being really mean and unkind to myself? And you start to notice those thoughts, you've then got to choose a thought and then turn that around and do a positive statement. So instead of saying I'm no good, I couldn't go back to, I couldn't go to education, I'm not that clever, for example. So you can turn that around by saying, I can go give it a chance and see how much I enjoy it. So we're not using the word clever or stupid. We're just saying, look, I'll go and give it a chance and see if I can do it and enjoy it. And if I struggle, there's always help in these places, so I can give it a go. And lots of people just don't even go to do any education further on in their career because they're worried or they've been massively influenced by their past school experiences. So first of all, you notice the thought, it's negative, you say stop. Then eventually you say, I'm not letting any of those thoughts in my head. And I've been practicing that with different things on and off for a good few years, where it'd just be like, no, I'm not allowing that to enter my mental space. It's not right, it's not accurate, it's just part of the old identity. And then you focus on, I'll have some water, I'll sit in the garden, I'll have coffee, or I will replace that with some positive thoughts. I'm practicing getting stronger and stronger each day. My projects are unfolding. I have gratitude for the fact that I really like sitting on my sofa. It's a beautiful sofa. I love my rug. I love the trees swaying in the wind. And so you can start to do that. And Abraham Hicks does a whole 60 minutes of just doing that. I sit in my chair and I'm grateful for the people who made it. I enjoy the space. The wind is flowing through the trees. I love the sparkling of the sun on the water. I hear the birds chirping in the background. The washing is moving slowly on the line. I have gratitude that I have a washing machine. I don't have to wash everything by hand, especially the heavy items. That means it frees up more time and minutes to spend by myself, and so on and so on. I'm just giving you an example of how you can do that. You can just do a whole monologue of, and if you're not used to doing it, start practicing, write down, it's called stream of consciousness, type or write everything that's coming through your head, and then look at that, and then write the story, write what you want to say to yourself, and then read it out, and it will get better and better at doing that, especially if you are absolutely stuck at times. One is you can do some state shifting exercises, and the other one is challenging this and just looking at those thoughts, what come in, and not allowing those and replacing them instead. So the book is Mindset, A New Psychology of Success by Carol Dweck. And the song recommendation is The Power by Little Mix, a fun anthem about owning your strength and voice. And the neuroplasticity research shows that our brains can rewire through new thought patterns, learning and consistent practice, empowering us to change limiting beliefs and habits. And the crystal today is citrine, known as the stone of manifestation and personal power, encouraging positivity and clarity. So finally, the journal prompts are: what thoughts do I want to create more in my life? What old beliefs am I ready to release and replace? How can I remind myself daily that I am the creator of my mindset? So like and subscribe, and contact me, melgbb555@hotmail.com, if you want to go for the Kickstarter sessions, 3 sessions in 1 month. You can just do the free sessions, or you can work with me more, but we work first on the block of free. That just gets things moving. And then find out about any of the workshops. If you subscribe, if you email me, I'll put you on my subscription list, and I'll send you the newsletter that also has the updates. And thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and make sure you leave some comments or send me some feedback. That'd be amazing. And I look forward to sharing my next video with you.